I'm glad I got a chance to do this with you. I'm happy I got to connect generations because I think that it's important to connect.
Oh, well, I'm really glad to have this opportunity. I think that oftentimes when we're in the church, we tend to connect more with our peers and not with the other generations in the church. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, it's nice to get to know, everybody in the church.
I understand that you are a Pathfinder.
Yeah.
So tell me, why do you participate in Pathfinders?
I chose to be a Pathfinder because I thought it would be really cool to learn skills with my friends, and as we grow up together, grow in a relationship with God, and be just a part of this really fun group in the church and the community, so yeah.
Is there a particular skill that you've learned this year?
One off the top of my head we've been learning for a while now, and it's different knots. So, whether it's grappling knots or knots that can secure you. I never knew there were so many knots.
When I was in Pathfinders, what we did to learn all the knots, we did macrame. Do you know what macrame is?
I probably heard of it, but probably.
Okay, so macrame, have you ever seen, hanging plants? And there's ropes, and you decorate the plants. Well, when we did knots in Pathfinders, we would make macrame, so it'd be a fun activity, but also learn the knots.
Kind of different, yeah.
Yeah, so that was always a fun activity that we did with
that's
Pathfinders.
a unique way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How has being in Pathfinders and being a master guide impacted your life?
Well, I didn't start being involved in Pathfinders until my children were of the age. When my children were adventure age, I got involved in adventures and I worked with them. And then when they moved up to Pathfinders, then I started teaching the classes. That's how I earned each of the progressive classes, by teaching them. Mm-hmm. And then my husband and I were directors here at Azure Hills.
Oh. Wow.
And we were directors of the Pathfinder Club probably for a good 10 years.
Oh, wow.
You know the saying, once a Pathfinder, always a Pathfinder, right?
Yes, I do. So how long have you been here at Azure Hills?
When I came here in 1978, where all the tennis courts are,
oh, yeah,
that was a big swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because this used to be a country club. And when the Adventist Church bought it, it still had all the facilities of a country club. And so back then, we used to have, on Saturday nights, when we had activities, and on Sundays, we had swim. So the family could come and they'd use the pool here. So that was one of the activities that they did here at the church then.
Now we have the pickleball courts that a lot of us use them for. Tell me about your dog, Sonia. What does she do for you? How does she help you?
So I got Sonia from Guide Dogs for the Blind up in San Rafael. And I got Sonia because I'm legally blind. I can see a little bit, but if I did not have Sonia, when I went out, I would have to use like a white cane, that people can move slowly.
Yeah.
So what Sonia does is she guides me. She makes sure that I don't run into things. And so I hold onto her handle, and when I get to steps or curbs, she stops, and then she'll put her front paws either down, and I can feel it with the handle that she's going down, or if she's going upstairs, then her paws go on the stairs, so then I know we're going upstairs. Oh, so that's how she guides me. But one of the really interesting things, she is so smart. She has been taught what they call intelligent disobedience. Now, this is something you can learn to tell your parents when okay. In the future. So, and what that means is, when I get to a corner and I'm going to cross the street, Sonia stops and I stop, and then I listen for the traffic. And so I can hear the traffic and I figure out, okay, which way is the traffic traveling, so then I can decide when it's safe to cross the street. So when I'm ready to cross, I say, okay, cross. If it's not safe, Sonia will not cross. She'll just sit down. And then when she does that, I know that there's a danger. One time we were walking and there was some construction. The sidewalk was closed, but I didn't see that it was closed. And there was a big hole because they were, replacing the concrete. So when we got there, she stopped. And so, of course, I'm trying to figure out, okay, why are we stopped? And then the gentlemen there that were working, they come running over. Oh, here, let me help you. Don't go there. She's been trained to do that.
As you're probably aware, I do have a passion for animals. As I've gotten older, I think I've become more and more fascinated by how God made them. And God made them so that they could be companions for us humans. And I just think they're really amazing on how they're different. I just love their trust. Like I've seen, the trust that you two have together.
I would agree that probably one of the most important things I have learned having Sonia is trust.
Yeah.
Because, if you think about it, if you close your eyes and then you start to walk, you automatically become cautious.
Yeah.
And so you're real slow to move. Even when I was using my white cane, with Sonia, I can walk rapidly down the street because I trust her.
Yeah.
And I've developed that trust because of my relationship with her.
Yeah.
So it's taught me a lot about trust, even, with God, because this is a concrete, and I can see the results of that trust. So that's been exciting.
They rely on you, you rely on them. It's kind of a teamwork, and I think that's how God originally planned it to be, because God's kind of the one who leads us. We rely on Him, and we trust Him, and He does follow through, and He does take care of us.
No doubt, the biggest way God has intervened in my life is through Sonia.
Good girl,
she has been such a blessing. She's taught me a lot about the character of God because she loves unconditionally. She's always there. Even at night, if I get up to go to the bathroom, Sonia looks up. Or when I'm, in the house, she follows me. So she's always there. I can always trust on her. And yet, you saw, if I tell her to go away, stay, she'll stay. And I think, God's like that with us. Mm-hmm. He's there. Sometimes we acknowledge Him, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we tell Him to stay when we don't want Him, in our activities. So I've learned a lot about God's love and His loyalty and presence just by my relationship with Sonia.
Yeah.
So how have you seen God, involved and active in your life?
I think what He has taught me is that even though it's hard right then in that moment, it's not the end of the world because, I've got you in my hands, and what happens here on this earth really doesn't matter because in heaven, that's our reward. And I think just, again, the trust and the faithfulness is a great act of love that He's given us. And it's just contagious because you want to keep spreading that love to others. And I find that if you do trust in God and if you do spread love, you'll have the best times.
Well, I think it's been real valuable to spend this time with you.
Me too.
Even though we're generations apart and we have different worldview perspectives, our values are the same. And I am really delighted to see your passion for God and for the Seventh-day Adventist Church and your involvement in Pathfinders. It just gives me joy to have that interaction with you.
Thank you, and I've had a great pleasure meeting you. I think it's really important for generations to connect so we can learn about each other. It's like a tight bond that's just waiting to be grown. So it was nice meeting you.
I look forward to seeing you at church.
Me too.